right, welcome into Average Joe Sports Talk. Right now, we are going to break down the Auburn versus A&M game. It's going to be at Kyle Field. It's going to be very, very hot. We're looking at a 2:30 kick, and from all indications, they're saying it might be about over 107 degrees heat index, somewhere around in there. I mean, that's extremely hot. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you practice at. I've got my man Hayden Coker in from the Asheville Bulldogs, and a longtime friend of mine, Bruce Howard. Bruce is our go-to Auburn guy who knows Auburn inside and out. Bruce, I'm going to let you lead off. A couple of things I'm going to throw at you right here. Texas A&M leads the overall series 5-4, but surprisingly, Auburn's 3-0 at Kyle Field.
Yeah, Auburn broke the trend last year. They finally won at home. Kellen Mond pretty much gave them the game. They was up in the fourth quarter, and all they had to do was run the ball and punt. But for some reason, they decided to throw the ball, and he threw it right to us. And we ran down the field. Still took him down the field and threw a fade in the back of the end zone for the win.
Now let me talk to you about something else here. Talk about the progressions you've seen from Bo Nix, and now we have the Gatewood packages that's going to come into play.
That's what it's going to come down to me. It's going to come down to two quarterbacks. It's going to be Mond on one side, not Bo Nix, but Gatewood for Auburn, because he's going to play. And I think if you get him in the short yardage package, I mean, he can lean forward and get 2 yards, at least 2 or 3 yards every time. But Bo Nix, yeah, he's progressed, and he's what you expect from a five-star freshman. Each game you see him taking that next step through his progressions. You can tell he's been well coached all his life. So the moment's not too big for him. All you need to do is go back and look at the Oregon game. With the game on the line, they're down by 2 touchdowns, 2 scores in the fourth quarter. He brought them back, and the game was in his hands. He had to do it for him. So I'm not worried about the atmosphere. I mean, they got 102,000 people. That's well organized, but still, I don't think the moment's too big for him. It's going to come down to quarterback play, and the key of the game is going to be Mond, what he does. He's so Jekyll and Hyde. If you look at him last year, look at the Clemson game. That's your prime example. He had over 440 yards against them at home last year. Then turn around and look what he did against them on the road this year.
Scored with seconds left.
So that's what it comes down to, is quarterback play.
Hayden, talk to me a little bit, man. Talk about Whitlow in the running game.
Whitlow, goodness gracious, man. If they get the run game going, I don't think they're gonna stop us. If they get the run game going,
if you notice on the run game, their run game don't normally kick in to the third and fourth quarter. They rely on wearing people down, They run some pace when they have to, but they do rotate their backs a little more this year. But Whitlow, he's got to hold on to the ball. He had 3 fumbles against Tulane. Last week he cleaned it up some, but I think going into this week, he's second in the conference in rushing. He's rushing for 110 yards a game, which is solid. So yeah, but they got a freshman running back. A&M does. They're actually down to their third string running back. They lost their starter for the year. He's hurt, but they got the freshman Spiller. He had 100 yards against Lamar. I think that's a high school team, but I mean it's 100 yards. But yeah, Auburn's definitely. I think. Well, this past week, I don't care. You can play whoever. If you run for 467 yards, you've done something right. They had 3 backs go over 100 yards the first time since the Bo Jackson days, if that tells you anything.
Joey Gatewood, Sean Shivers, and Bobby Whitlow.
Yes, sir.
One thing that they're going to, if they switch out running backs a lot, and they keep that rotation going,
right,
like they did last game.
Yeah,
it's going to be. It's
probably going to have to with 107 degrees.
But what you want to do whenever you run pace, you can't. You gotta the formation that you're in. You need to stay in that formation, because if you substitute now, the defense, you got to give them time to substitute too. So you want to keep that same package in and just run pace on them. Yeah. That's going to be the key.
Another interesting stat about this game is that the line started out at 2.5, then moved to 3. Now it's up to 4. So Texas A&M is a 4-point favorite at home.
Yeah, I mean, you get automatically Vegas gives you 3 or 4 points just for being at home. Let's say if the game was at Auburn would probably be maybe a 7-point favorite. So it's basically, if you look at it, really, it's about a pick 'em though. Really, however you want to look at it.
What do you think the keys to defense to stopping Kellen Mond, the Jekyll and Hyde version?
I think.
Let's say if we get Jekyll, and then we'll say if we get Hyde.
Well,
Auburn's secondary they're gonna have to step up.
Yeah.
They didn't play. Or they played okay. They played decent. They played decent in the last couple of games, but
they're good on defense. I don't think they're as great as what some Auburn fans think, especially up front. They're talented up front, But I've noticed they have to make adjustments. These teams have been coming out on them. They don't want to run straight at them, so they've been throwing these quick screen passes in the flat. And Auburn's been playing off that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what you got to do, especially with the 6'4", 6'3" receivers that A&M has, you have to press cover them. If you give them that cushion, that's an easy 8-10 yards pitch and catch. So, I mean, they do make it. Unlike on offense, they actually do make adjustments on defense. So I feel good about that.
That's good.
That's what I'm scared about though is if Gus if he makes some bad play calls, then he's got to make them good though. Because if he
I think with him back calling the plays this year, which he's always called the plays, but with him actually calling
Auburn fan admitted it.
Well, he's actually taking full responsibility. I think you'll see. The thing about him, his offense normally don't kick into gear till middle of the season, second half of the season, and you can already see them starting to trend in a better direction. They seem like they know a little more of what they're doing. They know what they want to do, basically, anyway.
How handcuffed do you think he is having freshman quarterbacks?
It's not as much as you think because the thing about him, the quarterback that he's got is already prepared. It ain't like he's having to coach him up. He knows what to do. He probably knows, if not more than Gus, really, when it comes to just running the system. So that's not an issue. The quarterback's not an issue at all. So it's him though. A lot of times he'll overthink himself pretty much. Stick to what works. We line up and run straight at people. Then when they stack the box, you throw it over the top.
I saw something the other day that said Bo Nix knows Auburn inside and out. He's like a dictionary.
Yeah, he does.
I mean,
He's been studying him
mean,
his whole life. Something I know Texas A&M is going to have to clean up. They had 7 penalties last week, 7 major penalties. I think 2 of those were personal fouls, and they lost a fumble and an interception last week. So if they do that against Auburn, that's not going to vote good for them. Which Auburn does have some ball hawks and some straight up football players in their defensive front.
Their secondary is not the biggest secondary in the world, but they tackle. They got a lot of speed in the secondary. Linebackers are extremely fast this year. Even though we're young at linebacker, we've actually upgraded at linebacker from a talent standpoint.
Owen Papo and KJ Britt. Oh man,
KJ Britt's the downhill linebacker. They've missed for years, and we finally have one.
KJ Britt's a monster.
It's that time, boys. I need a prediction. I'm gonna let you go ahead, Hayden. Give me a prediction.
Bruce, you go ahead.
I'm gonna stick to my same score for the Auburn-Oregon game, which I think Oregon's a little better team than A&M overall, but I still think Auburn 24, A&M 21.
I'm gonna go. I feel like late course, so I need some headgear.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Auburn 28, A&M. Auburn 28, A&M 24.
Not bad.
I like it. I'm going to close it down, fellas. Appreciate you guys sitting in with Mr. Bruce Howard.
Appreciate it.
There you go. Thank you.